Hey, what's up? This is Scott the Frozen Gamer, and today I'm coming at you with my top 10 hidden gems for the Spiel at Essen. Now, a lot of people have done their top 10 lists for Essen Spiel, and they tend to be a lot of the same big games. Well, these are hidden gems. These are games that have gotten less than 100 thumbs up on the BoardGameGeek Essen list. So not a whole lot of hype, not a lot of content creators, if any, talking about these games, but I think all of these sound awesome. So let's start at number 10. Now, these games tend to be lighter games and smaller games because the big games get lots and lots of thumbs. The lighter games tend to kind of fall through the cracks, but the good news is you can get them cheap and they won't sell out right away like some of the big games would. So number 10 here is called Milkuro. It's by Tsutomu Dejima, and it's by the publisher Korokorodu, a Japanese little trick-taking game. So what you do in Milkuro is you're going to play a normal trick-taker. Every card has two sides. It's got the white side of the milk and the black side of the milk. These are supposed to be different nutrients within the milk. And what you do is when it's your turn to lead, you play a card face down and you orient it which side you want to be playing, the white side or the black side. They have different numbers on each, the white and the black side. Everyone must follow if it's white or black. And you just follow whatever one it is. Whoever plays the highest card gets that trick. And then you have a little card in front of you that has one side that's white and one side that's black. So if I just won a white trick, I would put it on this side of the card. If I won the black trick, I'd put it on this side of the card. At the end of the round, after all the cards from our hands have been played, you want your sides to be balanced. So let's say I won two tricks with white cards, and I won two tricks with black cards. That's balanced. So I would get 4 points because I have a total of 4 tricks. Let's say I got 3 tricks with white cards, and I won 2 tricks with black cards. That's not balanced. So now I lose a point for each. So I lose 5 points. And that is how you play Milkuro. You do that over as many rounds as there are players, and whoever has the most points at the end wins the game. And Milkuro had a total of 33 whopping thumbs up on the Essen list. So my number 9 game is 0 to Hero by Martin Wallace, published by his own company, Wallace Designs. And the blurb says, a trick-taking game that takes you from 0 to hero. So I'm immediately intrigued because it's Martin Wallace making a trick-taker. And this isn't a trick-taker with cards. This is a trick-taker with tiles. You actually draw tiles from a bag to be your hand. The way this trick-taker works is when you lead a tile, or when you lead, you play down a tile of any color of the different suits. Then every other player can, and you play it face up. Every other player can play any tile they want. They do not need to follow the suit that was led from the lead tile. Once everyone's played a tile, you look at which suit of the tiles has the largest total. So if 2 people played orange and orange had 12 and 2 people played blue and blue had 10, then the orange was the top suit for the round. Whoever gets first, whoever played the higher one number gets first of orange, and then whoever played the second highest in orange in this example would get second place. If any of the suits tied, then it's all ties are friendly. What you do then is you look at, there's these little diamond-shaped scoring tiles laid out for each hand of the round. And on the top half, there's 2 numbers on them, one on top of the other of the diamond. So the top triangle part has one number, the bottom triangle has another number on it. Sometimes they're positive, sometimes they're negative. And if you come in first, you get the top number. And if you go in second, sometimes you'll get the bottom number. Again, sometimes the bottom number is better than the top number. You can never go below 0. So if you get a negative number and you're already at 0, you'd actually count upward. So if I had a 0 and I got -2, I'd go 1, 2. If I was at -1 and I got a 2, I'd go 0 back to 1. So you never go in negatives. You can also play a 2 tile, and a 2 tile, as long as no other tile is played of that suit, wins the trick. When you are done with the hand, you count up how many points you've gotten for that round. And then you play 4 total rounds. Whoever has the most points wins. However, if you get exactly 0 points in a round, then you are called the 0. the next round of the game, if you get 5 or more points, then you flip your little 0 tile over and you become the hero and you automatically win the game. So if you go from 0 to 5 or more points between one round to the next, you automatically win the game. The rest of the points don't matter. There's a little quick, easy trick taker, nothing complicated here, but it sounds interesting with the way that you try to come in first or second within the tile to get plus or minus points. Sometimes you want to get minus points to get down to that 0 so you can hopefully become a hero the next round. And it's Martin Wallace making a trick taker. So that's number 9, 0 to Hero by Martin Wallace. So number 8 is a game called Petal Plotters by the designer Evan Chia, and the publisher is Luma, and that is out of Malaysia. The blurb says, animals choose sides in a plot, attack, or defend the Garden of Tropica. So what you're doing in Petal Plotters is you start with a hand of cards, and they have, what do they call it? 2 petal powers on them. So there's a number on one side, the top part of the card, and then there's a negative number on the bottom side of the card. And when it's your turn, you have like a little tableau area that you're going to play cards in front of you. So you get 2 options. You can either play a card in front of you with either the flower, the positive side forward, or the negative side forward, giving you that many points. And then, or you can play, every card has an animal on it, and every animal has its own power as well. So you, instead of playing a card in your tableau in front of you face down, you can play animal power, show everyone, and then discard that card without putting any cards in your tableau. And everyone just takes turns doing that until you have 1 card left in your hand. When you have 1 card left in your hand, you play it horizontally underneath your tableau. And this is how you're predicting you're going to get points this round. So you want to leave it so that you can get exactly the right amount of points, because after the round is done, you go through a priority scoring thing. And you first see if anyone has in their victory condition card that they put horizontal, a snail or spider first, they win the game if they have less than 0 points. If no one has that, then you look at the number 2 priority, which is katydids, which is you win if your petal power is less than or equal to 7 points. If no one played a katydid and won, then you go look at the frog. If someone played the frog and has greater than or equal to 12 points, then they win. If no one has that, then you look at the blue squad. They have to have greater than or equal to 8, and then they win. And if no one has won the game, whoever played the hornbill, that means the hornbill card, which is the first player of the game, it's the first card that has to be played, then the hornbill player wins. You can just do this one time, or you can play over 3 games, because the games are probably super quick, and get victory points depending on if you're the only one that wins or if you win as a group, as multiple people won that round. What's interesting is it's a little bit of a deduction game as well, because you're putting these cards face down in front of you, but the powers let you do things like flip someone's card face up, or you can rotate someone's card. So they might have put a negative on it, and now you can rotate it face up. You can exchange cards with someone, or you can remove a card from their tableau to the discard pile. And you just do that until you've either played the one time only, or what I think sounds more interesting is the campaign, which is 3 games. Probably takes under a half hour to do the 3 games. So that's it. Another small little game. I think it's really cool that I think the scoring priority part of it's really cool, that you go through each animal one by one and see if that player wins. And if that player doesn't win, that has that as their victory condition, that animal as their victory condition, then you go to check the next animal and see if anyone has that animal, and if they have met their condition. And if they don't, then you go to the next one. I think that's really, really cool and intriguing and interesting for a game. The rest of the game is very simple. You get plus points or minus points, and you get to monkey around with other people's cards to mess up their plans, or change your plans if your plans got messed up by someone else. So that's it. That's number 8, Petal Plotters. So number 7 is a little game called Treat or Cheat by Julius Guan and Mingyi Designs, based out of Taiwan. It is 20 to 45 minutes long, another small little card game. And the blurb is, pets manage to let their sick relatives get into better hospitals in limited actions. So what you're doing in this game is you have, there's one thing, not everyone shares this one card. I can't speak. I am not speaking well here at all. There are 3 cards in the center of the table. This is the player board. There's a medical center, there is a regional hospital, and a local clinic. And everyone has a similar hand of cards that have minor patients within them, severe patients, and critical patients. And all you're doing in this game is you're playing cards in front of a specific medical hospital. When you play a critical patient face up, then they go and to the front of the line. If you play a severe patient, they go behind the critical patients, and if you play a minor patient, they go to the end. There's relatives that can connect to certain patients, which can get you more points, I believe. And then there's you can jump the line. It's called queue jumping in this game. You can jump the line a certain amount of times, up to 4 times a game, to help get your cards up closer to the front of the line. And then there are triage cards, which help score. And then there's endgame scoring. So you can score in the middle if you play a triage card. You can get endgame scoring if you play just at the end of the game. When a player has only 2 cards left in total between your hand and the deck, that round is the second to last round of the game. You play 1 more round after that. And then you check to see which animals get put into the hospital. So the medical center and regional hospital will take the top 2 animals every time there's a scoring, either a triage or endgame scoring happens. And the local clinic takes 4 people, but they always take the green cards, the minor patients cards. That is all you're doing in this game. You're just trying to get your cards toward the front. Some of the times you'll be playing cards faces down. Then you'll be flipping them over during the triage time. And you're just trying to get the most points into all 3 hospitals. So you check how many points you got into all the hospitals. You get 3 points for cards that got in the medical center, 2 for regional hospital, 1 for the local clinic. And once the game is over, once you finish that last round of the game, you see who has the most points, and that's the winner. Again, a very simple game. I love the theme of this. It's animals going to the vet, pretty much, because everyone has their own animal. So you could be the bunnies or whoever, trying to get into these I think they might actually all be bunnies, but they're all different colors. And they're all trying to get into the vet's hospitals, and because they're all sick or injured. So that is, I just love the theme of it. It seems, again, it seems very simple, very easy to teach, and it's a super cute production on the game as well. I keep looking over here because my computer is over there that has the information on it. So that is number 7, Treat or Cheat. So number 6 is Claw Machine by Grua de Peluches, and published by Fractal Juegos and Neptuno Games, which is a Chilean company and an Argentinian company, so from South America, which is really cool. Its little blurb is on BoardGameGeek is the stuffed animal machines are a hit. Let me go back real quick. I didn't tell you how many thumbs the last game's got. So Milkuro got 33 thumbs, Zero to Hero got 53, Petal Plotters only got 28 thumbs, Treat or Cheat got 52, and Claw Machines is the most popular one on my list with a whole 79 thumbs up. I think this game sounds adorable. Basically, you're playing a claw machine game, trying to collect stuffies of different animals. And what you're doing in this game is you have a grid of cards in a 3x3 grid. So 9 cards out total, but each stack of the 9 cards, or each 9 cards has a stack of 5 total. So once you collect a stuffy, you take that one off, and there'll be another stuffy below it until you've run out of the 5 cards in that stack. So on your turn, you're either going to move the claw and then drop it, or you're going to recharge your claw and then drop it. On your turn, if you move the claw, you can play as many arrows as you want, but every time you play an arrow, it has basically died out. The power has died out of that arrow, and you have to flip it over, and then on a later turn, you're going to have to recharge and flip your arrow back up so you can use that arrow again. So I could use all 4 arrows on one turn if I wanted to, which would just move me in a circle, but I could use all 4 if I wanted to, and then the next turn I would be forced to recharge. Or I could just use 1 arrow if I wanted to, and then I would be able to use more on later turns. And you can even move, drop it, and then move again if you want to move the claw out of the way from someone else going on the next turn and put them in a tougher situation to get what you think they will want. And what you're trying to do is collect different types of animals. There's a whole bunch of animals in the game, and they all have set their own little scoring powers in the game. So if you collect bears, you want to get pairs of bears because those score 5 points. If you're collecting capybaras, you get 2 points for every capybara you have in your collection. Rabbits, your group of rabbits grant you 5 victory points if there's no other player that has the same number of rabbits that you've collected, and so on and so on. Then there's special characters that are the dragon and the unicorn, the mystical characters, and then they have defective stuffies as well. And you don't want to get defective stuffies, but if you get more than 3 defective stuffies, then that's actually a good thing because now you're collecting rare stuffies. You keep doing this, moving the claw around, dropping it, picking up an animal, recharging, dropping, picking up an animal, until 3 of the 9 piles have 0 cards left. Once 3 of the 9 piles have 0 cards left, you finish out that round. Whoever has collected the most points from all their stuffy set collections that they've gotten wins the game. So it's a little, almost like puzzly, joystick puzzly set collection. This won me over from the theme and collecting stuffies. I used to love playing claw machine games. For a while, even as an adult, I was playing the online ones from Japan and winning stuffies that would get sent over from Japan for my kids. And my kids love playing the claw machines too. So that's what this game is. It's a board game claw machine, and it just looks absolutely adorable. So my number 5 hidden gem is called Cat Packs, and it's by Tobias Hall and published by All or None Games. 30 to 45 minutes to play, 1 to 4 players. And the little blurb is, cherry pick the most magnificent gang of cats the world has ever seen. And it got a total of 49 thumbs up on BoardGameGeek's Essen list. So what you're doing in this game is you're drafting a cat card from a marketplace, and then you put it in a tableau in front of you, kind of like a tile building tableau. There's rules where you have to match up. Every border has a different color dots on them, and you have to match up those dots. So if you have green dots, you can only place a card over here if it has green dots as well. You can't place green dots and blue dots connecting each other. And what you're trying to do is get what do they call them? Cat shine. And one of the ways to get cat shine is every card that you place, you can place cards by spending the amount of catnip to place the cards. So once you place a card in the tableau, some of the cards have little, they call them shards, and they're like little yellow lines on the corner of the card. And you want to place it so when you get 4 cards together, here's a corner of a card, here's a corner of a card, and these are corner of cards. When you put them together, that all 4 have shards and they make this diamond shape, this yellow bordered diamond shape between the 4 cards connecting at the points. That gives you a cat shine once all the shards are connected. There's other ways to get cat shine throughout by collecting different sets of cat types. You want different ones or the same ones. There's powers, cat power in the game, which will look like claws, and you can get cat shine from that as well. So you keep doing this and drafting cards and playing them into your tableau until 4 rounds are up. And once the 4th round is up, then the game is over, and whoever has collected the most cat shine wins the game. Again, I just love the theme of this. I'm not even a cat person. They look ridiculously cute, first of all. Visually, they just look adorable. Second of all, especially cat packs, I like the mechanism. I love tile laying, which this is you're doing with cards, but I love tile laying in games and that puzzle of it, and then trying to get these set collections in the game and stuff like that through your tile laying and your drafting of the cards from the marketplace. Yeah, it's just like a little puzzly quick game that you can teach really easy, again, which I like, and it's ridiculously cute. So that is why Cat Packs is my number 5. So number 4 is called Fixer. It's by Lida Takaki, and it's by Jelly Jelly Games, which is another Japanese company, and this is also another trick taker. It's my last trick taker on my list. This game is 15 minutes long, and it got a total of 37 thumbs up. I think this is the coolest sounding trick taker that I've heard of a while, because it's almost like a lane battler war mechanism mixed with trick taking. So this is how you play Fixer. In a 4-player game, between each of your opponents, you're going to have a conflict board with three conflict tokens with the number 4 on them, on each conflict board. When you play a card, you can play a card in any open conflict to start with. You can play any card from any suit. So let's say I play a card to my player to my left, I can play any suit. Now that player on their turn can either play any suit to the other 2 players that don't have any cards in their conflict yet, or they can play a card to my conflict. If they play a card to my conflict, they have to follow suit if they can. If they can't, then they can play any suit if they don't have the same suit. So I played a green 5, let's say, face up to the player to my left, and they want to be in the same trick as me, and into the same conflict as me. So they play a green 2 face up. Now because we played the same color cards, it's called a normal victory for me because I played the higher green card, green 5 versus green 2. So what I do is take their green 2 and put it in my scoring pile face down, because this is called a normal victory. And then I take one of the conflict tokens and place it face down on top of that card. The loser, on this, my player to my left, will take my green 5. If they don't have any green 5s scoring face up in front of them, they take it into their hand. If they do have any green cards in their scoring tableau in front of them face up, then they just put it and discard my card. Now let's say I played a green 5, the player to my left didn't have any green cards, and they play an orange card. Let's say they play an orange 2. The numbers don't matter because they're 2 different suits. So the numbers don't matter anymore. Now we're playing a game of basically rock, paper, scissors, and an orange card always beats a green card. So they would win even though they had the lower number. Again, then they would take my green 5, and because this is when it's different suits, it's called a critical victory. So they'll take my green 5 and place it face up this time, and they'll take a token, a conflict token, the number 4 conflict token, and put it face up on that card. You do this until every conflict on the table has been played, and there's no more conflict tokens on the table anymore. Then you flip over every card that's face down, you flip that over face up, and you add up the total of all of your face up cards. Any face down token you leave face down, those don't score. So any token that you won from a normal victory, you don't score. Any token you won from a critical victory, you do score. You add up your total points, whoever has the most wins the game. It's as easy as that, but I just find this so unique that you're playing this little war game that could be about numbers if it's the same suit, or it could be rock, paper, scissors if it's a different suit. And I just think that's really unique for a trick-taking game. It's a really bizarre trick-taking game, but it sounds super, super fun and super cool. So that is Fixer. So my number 3 game is called Minecart Town. I always want to say Minecraft Town, not Minecraft Town, Minecart Town. It's by Aya Taguchi and Shun Taguchi, also from Jelly Jelly Games, Japanese game. Minecart Town got a total of 78 thumbs up. This is a little bit of a bigger game. It plays still in only 30 to 45 minutes, but it's not just a little card game. So this one, what you're doing in this game is you are drafting little buildings that are in a marketplace, and you're drafting them, and the buildings can do multiple things. They can either produce resources, or they can like manufacture resources. They might have little scoring things at the end as well, where you can get victory points. What you do is you draft a tile or buy a tile from the market, and then you put it down in a little tableau in front of you that you're building out your town, your Minecart Town. You're placing these tiles orthogonally around your start tile, and then anyway off of any other tile that you've placed in your tableau. But here's what's cool, is that you also have to build railroad tracks within your Minecart Town, or minecart tracks within your town, because some of the tiles that you do produce the resources, but they can't manufacture them. They can't like get them out to the world and get you victory points. So what you have to do then is place railroad tracks in between that to a tile that can actually score those victory points and deal with the resources that you built from somewhere else. So what I find so cool about this game, and it's much more complex than what I'm talking about, not that much complex, but a lot more going on than what I'm just saying here. What I find really cool about this one is that you get this, one, I love town builders and city builders because I just love that theme in general. So you're building out this little city with tiles and tile placing. Again, I just love that mechanism as a whole, but it's not just a normal one. It sounds kind of similar to Glenmore with that way, with the way you're placing your tiles around. But what's cool is then you have to build these railroad tracks or the minecart tracks to get the tiles to move resources from one place to a different building that can use those resources to get you victory points and so on and so on. So it's this engine building, tile placing, resource, not engine building, but like a resource engine builder through tile placement and kind of like this pick up and deliver through your minecart tracks. I just love how they put all this together. The art, again, is really cute on this. It's by Sai Beppu, who's done a ton of games. And yeah, that's my number 3, Minecart Town, number 3 hidden gem. So my number 2 game is called Vampire Knights. It's by David Osloos and published by Ludolux, which is Luxembourg, or probably Ludolux because it's from a Luxembourg company. It's 30 to 45 minutes, 2 to 4 players, and the blurb says, an exciting board game of nightly exploration and lurking danger, and it got a total of 59 thumbs on BGG's Essen list. So what you do in Vampire Knights is there's like a little mansion at the top of the player board, or the top of the game board, and down from there, you build a grid of cards going down from the top of the mansion. And on your turn, you can move and explore and flip over the cards. This is very briefly going into the rules here. I'm not going to go in depth because, again, not a complex game at all, but more rules than just like a trick taker. So you kind of move down and you're exploring these cards, and on the cards, there's either loot on the cards, there's sometimes black cats and other things, items on the cards, and then every once in a while, there is a vampire on the card. When you're moving, you're trying to collect the treasures, and they give you certain points by what type of treasure you get. If you end up on a vampire, you have to fight the vampire. If you can't beat the vampire, they will bite you. Then you have to go from a different deck and turn over a card. Some of them are safe, and some of them are bites. If you get bit twice in the game, and no one knows if you get bit or not, but if you get bit twice in the game, you secretly become a vampire. Now, this isn't a social deduction game or anything like that, but now you are a vampire and not a normal guard like everyone else is. What's cool about that is when you flip to a vampire, all these items have different ways they score and different points that they score on the cards. But when you become a vampire, all the cards that you may have collected at the beginning now score in a different way for the vampires. So you're now, as a vampire, you might be collecting the same cards or avoiding cards that the guards may be trying to get. And then there's probably some bluffing too, that I might want to get this scorecard that might not give me anything because I don't want them to quite know that I'm a vampire yet. Or maybe not, or maybe you just play openly as a vampire. I don't know the best strategy. The game sounds super, super fun. It's super thematic. And yeah, I'm just totally excited about this game. It's called Vampire Knights by David Osloos. And that's it for my number 2. Okay, so my number 1 hidden gem for Essen Spiel is Space Bureau by Andrei Kulipev, Open Border Studios. I believe it's a Russian company, otherwise Eastern European. I'm sorry if I'm wrong about the Russia thing. Space explorers come and go to your spaceship's tech tracks is the blurb. 36 to 60 minutes, 1 to 4 players. And it got a total of 46 thumbs up for this game. The art is by Nick Gertz, Polina Kulagina, and Evgeny Zubkov. And I bring those artists up because this game is just gorgeous. It's cute art, but it's gorgeous, cute art. Not only is the game box gorgeous, the actual game components are also, the art on it is gorgeous, and great graphic design. All the symbols make sense when you read through the rules. Just top notch all the way around with the art and graphic design of this game. So this is another one of the bigger games, so I'm just going to go over briefly what you try to do. There's 3 different player areas on the board. You're going to have your own spaceship with little traders that you put in, these trader aliens that you put in. You're going to be flying around there, so that's in front of you, and on your board is different actions that you put the traders onto. And then you have a fuel cell at the bottom that holds artifacts that you collect as well, and that takes up how much fuel you can use in the game, because those artifacts fill in the fuel gauge and cover up spots of fuel as your ship gets heavier. And that's important because there's another part of the game where you're flying around. You start out with like one little tile of 3 different things, I believe, and then you can start creating your outer space world, which space malls will come up and other planets will come up and open space as well. And you'll be traveling through those with a spaceship. And then there's a third part of the game board which has the score track, but also, importantly, has the Space Bureau. So this is a building, and you start at the beginning of it, the track on the Space Bureau, not the score track, but the Space Bureau has all these different rooms. So you begin in the beginning room, and you follow a path through different rooms, and you level up till you're in level 4, and then you just kind of do a loop in level 4. And as you level up, but you also get little bonuses for each room that you go through as you're going through the Space Bureau. So every action you take on your space board allows you to do something, which might allow you to fly, it might allow you to move through your Space Bureau, and then you'll be collecting artifacts, and then you're going to be trying to get, when you fly, you're trying to get to planets and drop off those artifacts as well, and then you're trying to move in one of your special aliens through the traders, through the Bureau, and this game is just about collecting these artifacts and then getting these powers and comboing and comboing and comboing, and you're just comboing through all the different boards in the game, and it is so ridiculously combo-tastic. It sounds so much fun. It's combo-tastic, almost in a way like a roll and write, even though this is nothing like a roll and write, but some of those big roll and writes where you get one thing, which lets you get another thing, which lets you get another thing, which lets you get another thing. And that's what this is like. You can move into a planet, then it gets a power that lets you move through the Space Bureau, which gets you more powers there, that lets you get an artifact, you know, blah, 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 blah. This game sounds fantastic. It sounds like a big punch in a little box, or a little game with a huge, huge punch to it. I was reading the rules for it, and my mind was just like spinning with all the different possibilities and all the combos, and I was just getting so excited reading this rule book. I want this game right now. I'm not going to Essen, but I want this game right now. Space Bureau, again, by Open Border Studio, and Andrei Kulipev is the artist. That is it though. These are 10 games, not a lot of hype, and not a lot of content creators talking about it, that I think sound fantastic. I hope you think they sound fantastic too. That's going to be it for today. Peace and stay cool.